You're listening to 31Greats, the podcast about North Louisiana and its best product, its people. Being from the 318 just seems to add seasoning to every story and grit to every soul. No matter how far they roam from Shreveport, Monroe, or any origin in between, people from the 318 area code just seem to stand out. And today we're celebrating another standout, so let's get started.
So welcome to, I guess this is going to be the first installment of the 31Greats podcast, and I have a 31 Great with us, Jamie Adams. Jamie is the Chief Revenue Officer of Scorpion. Is that right? Accurate. And you guys do like let's call it $250 million in revenue. That's amazing. You're the 2014 Young Alumnus of the Year for Louisiana Tech University in Ruston. Is that correct?
That long? Was it that long ago?
It's time to do it again.
It was some year.
Time.
It was back. It was a while back. I don't remember the year that it was, but yeah, something like that.
And you're an 04 graduate of Louisiana Tech in Ruston, Louisiana. Is that correct?
I am. That is accurate. Yes.
Which tells me
I remember the graduating year. I don't remember the Young Alumnus of the year.
Okay. And that tells me since we're sorry.
No, you're good.
That tells me that since we're 2 years apart and we graduated college at the same year, that you probably did some kind of like 8+ deal in high school to kind of hold yourself back to be better at athletics than everybody else, right? Correct?
I love your sense of humor. Unfortunately, where I went to school, Lakeview, junior and senior high school in Campton, Louisiana, we were not innovative enough to have 8+ back in the day. So unlike our evangel brethren, we didn't get it done. But I did have some perks having gone to Lakeview, though. I did have some perks that not other people got to have. So it was not 8+, but there were some perks.
Okay. Well, that's where we're going to start, because this is why this podcast exists. Like, there's something about North Louisiana. There's something about that area that shapes the lives of some of the people that come out of it, that it separates us. It makes us different. And I think you'll agree that a lot of the things that you experienced or learned in Coushatta in North Louisiana shaped and paved a way for your success. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So let's start in Coushatta. Where'd you grow up?
In Coushatta, Louisiana.
I know that, but like where in Coushatta did you grow up?
I actually grew up in a community. It wasn't actually the town of Coushatta. I grew up in what was called at the time a community called Fairview Alpha.
There you go. Now you're talking to the people.
Fairview Alpha Elementary on a street that was named after my great-grandfather, Edward Adams Road, where growing up, most of the residents on the street, it was kind of a long dead-end street off of Highway 71 that goes from Bronson to Purpose, Bossier City down through Coushatta, all the way up to Natchitoches. But off of the road between Coushatta and Natchitoches, there was a road. At the time growing up, didn't even have a street name. It was called Route 371, I think. Eventually became Edward Adams Road, and at the end of that street was my parents' house. They were the very dead end, still are the dead end of that street. My grandmother and my grandfather, my dad's parents, and then two of my uncles, my dad's two brothers, also lived on the street. And then there was one other family, the Layfields, that lived just before my dad's two brothers. And when I was really young, that was kind of the entire street makeup. So there were some other people that lived. There were some other people who lived like earlier on in the street, but like that was like the end of that, literally the end of that road.
Yeah, so there's a lot of family. You were surrounded with a lot of the Adams clan being in that area. Right?
Yeah, all the Adams lived in that area, and then my mom's side of the family, the Adcocks, most of them lived in in Coushatta proper. So my grandmother, my grandfather, my Uncle Jay and Aunt Terry, and then my Aunt Jeannie and Uncle Stick. Stick is not his real name, but that's what we call him. And my Aunt Jill at the time, one of my mom's sisters, was the only one who lived. She lived in Shreveport when I was growing up.
And that was like the big city.
Shreveport?
Yeah.
It still is the big city for all intents and purposes. Yeah.
When you were growing up, like how did you, let's say 8-year-old Jamie, somebody says Shreveport, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Great question. Probably South Park Mall.
That's good.
8-year-old Jamie, probably Southport Mall, now known as Summer Grove Baptist Church, I think.
Now, that's good. That's good. You ever go to Garfield's?
Yeah, but that was more That was more teenage, like
Was it?
high school, junior high, high school, Jane. Yeah.
I
Mall
suppose
St.
it
Vincent,
was.
right?
Yeah. Was it Mall
Yeah.
St. Vincent? What was the place?
No, wait. Yeah, Garfield was Mall St. Vincent, I think. No,
Bennigan's.
Bennigan's was definitely Mall St. Vincent. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. Okay. This is, yeah, I'm being taken aback as
Me
well.
too.
Okay. So your earliest friend from Coshada, like
Mhm.
first person that you remember I think outside your family, first person that you remember being
Yeah.
your
Brian
friend.
Davis. Brian
Yeah.
Davis.
Good dude.
Yeah, Brian, his family was next door neighbors to my mom's mother and father, my grandmother, grandfather on the
I see.
Adcock side. Yeah, so Brian is probably I think he's 4.5 years older than me, maybe 5 years older than me.
Okay.
But yeah, he was the first friend I remember. Yeah, like calling, like, oh, he's my friend. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What did you guys bond over first?
Oh man, that's a good question. Well, I mean, I think anytime when you're young, right? I think most young kids are looking for people to go play toys with, right? So probably GI Joe was probably our first kind of bonding experience, but from there, I mean, music became a huge thing. Still, he's by the way, he's still like one of my really close friends. I know you like to give me a hard time about the number of best friends that I have. But, he is certainly up there on. We still work together to this day. Like literally, like we work like in the same company.
I
But
think
yeah, I
that's
mean,
so cool.
it is really cool. Yeah, but I mean, we were like GI Joes to Legos to Star Wars to like music. We went to our first concert together. His dad took us to see Queensryche together at Hearst Coliseum in January of 1991. I was not
Yeah.
even 11 yet.
Got a little
It was
silent lucidity. Yeah.
Silent Lucidity. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brian Davis was my first friend that I remember. Yeah,
Good. Maybe mix in a little Jet City Woman.
no, they played that too. Matter of fact, I'm actually down in down on my little pre-Christmas vacation trip that I've taken the last few years. And Brian and I were talking a couple of days ago. Brian is in addition to being like a full-time sales professional, he's amazing. He's also a vocational pastor now in Dallas in our neighborhood at a
I
church in
did
our
not
neighborhood.
know that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did
yeah.
not know that.
Yeah, so he's been doing that for I think probably 3 or 4, no, maybe longer than that, maybe 4 years, 3 or 4 years. Anyway, he is there's a family that was part of that church that moved. It's a single mother family that moved to Seattle because they kind of fell in hard times, and she got a job opportunity in Seattle. So anyway, long story short, Brian is, if you know Brian, he's very much like an others focused guy, and anyway, they fell in hard times in Seattle. So Brian just called me like a few days ago and he's like, yeah, I'm going up to get this family and I'm going to fly them home, but they've got a dog. They got a big German Shepherd and it costs a lot of money to ship the German Shepherd home. So I'm going to fly to Seattle and I'm going to drive the German Shepherd and the son home with me. Anyway, say all that to say, you're like, where's the tie-in? Well, he flies to Seattle the other day and when he's landing, he like takes a video of the landing and he tags like Jet City Woman because Jet City Woman is a song about Seattle,
About
Washington.
Seattle. Yeah.
And he tags me in the Instagram photos. So yeah, we're come full circle now. Yeah, yeah.
That's great. That's great. I texted him a couple of weeks back and it was on the anniversary of Pearl Harbor because they asked us to not a weird thing that they asked us to do this, but weird what happened next. They asked us at the office, hey, they send out an email, lower your flags for Pearl Harbor. We always do it. But the first person that came to my mind was his, I think, great uncle who died in the USS Arizona. And so I texted him and just told him that and just said, hey, thank you for sharing his legacy. And he said, good to hear from you. You guys should come to church with us. And I thought, well, that's nice. But I also thought, dude, I'm in Prosper. Do you know?
Hey man, listen, always be selling, brother. Like always be selling.
So it makes more sense now. I'm like, okay, got it. His church.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Like he's honestly, man, like he's I can't say enough about the
That's
guy.
awesome.
Like he's and he's full-time job, on with Scorpion and he's and actually he's our top salesperson this year, but by far, by the way, like he's just slaying it. And he maintains this, full-time, vocational pastor job. So yeah, it's pretty impressive.
So that I think is one of the things that I've just found that separates a lot of people from our neck of the woods, from people who aren't from our neck of the woods. And I think you share that quality too, and that is just a different type of work ethic. Where do you think that comes from? Do you think it comes from North Louisiana and just from growing up around where we grew up?
I mean, yeah, maybe so. I mean, I think that, I mean, for me personally, I had very kind of very interesting, roots in terms of like examples to follow. I mean, on one side of my family, on my mom's side, my grandfather was a professional baseball player for like 20 years, won a World
Yeah.
Series with the Braves, went to LSU on a basketball scholarship, ended up playing baseball, at LSU as well.
You can
Because they
say
were
his name, Joe Adcock.
Yeah, Joe Adcock. Yeah. So clearly you can't become a professional athlete without being like the best of the best. And then on the other side of my family, my dad's dad was just, it's funny to think about. He was an entrepreneur. I mean, he started a bunch of businesses. He was a farmer. He owned a cement company. He was a contractor. So yeah, I mean, I think both sides of my family had kind of, a pretty interesting work ethic that I don't know that I thought a lot about honestly growing up. I wasn't thinking about like, oh, look how people in my family work. But I mean, I think that just by being around it, yeah, it kind of seeped its way into, to me and Brian was the same way. I mean, Brian's family was farmers and his dad was an attorney, but also operated kind of and still does operates like the family farm, and theirs is a cattle farm. My grandfather's was a horse farm.
Yeah.
But on my mom's side, he started a horse farm after baseball. But yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, I think it's probably a combination of just watching people around you, and then also, a little bit of a chip on your shoulder of like, hey, I grew up, kind of not wanting anything, but also kind of wanting to do more or wanting to kind of see more um, than I maybe experienced as a kid. So there's a little bit of a chip on your shoulder of like, hey, if I do the work, that kind of sky's the limit, I guess.
Do
But
you
yeah,
think that
I
they're
think,
Go
yeah,
ahead,
yeah,
sorry.
sorry, yeah, yeah. I mean, I definitely think that speaking for myself, I mean, I definitely had my grandfathers both were really hard workers. My dad was a really really hard worker. So yeah, I mean, I definitely
Your
had a
dad
lot of
still
examples.
is.
Yeah, I mean, he is. I mean, it's kind of great. He just had knee replacement surgery like 3 days ago.
I need to I'll
But
text him and tell him.
yeah, he's doing well. I talked to him. I texted him this morning. But yeah, I mean, yeah, my dad's a really hard worker, and yeah, you just watch that, and I'm sure it just kind of seeps into
Yeah.
what you end up. Hopefully, at least for my case, I'm glad that it kind of worked out that I wanted to be like him in that regard.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I think that's something that kind of weaves us all in, and it's just anywhere when you grow up outside of a major market, just the ties that you have to home, I think, are stronger. And I feel like that. However, when I go back now, it's different, right? Do you see that too? Like when you go back to Coshada, do you is the shine kind of rubbed off certain things?
Honestly, man, I mean, in Kashada, no, I actually like going back more now than I probably ever have.
Nice.
Shreveport, I'll come back to if you want. I definitely the shine on Shreveport is rubbed off, but like I don't know
We
with
won't go there.
Kashada, man. I mean, I think with Kashada for me, first of all, I don't think I could ever see myself living there again. But I definitely have a very different and a greater appreciation for Kashada now than I probably ever have. Just the acknowledgement of like there's just so many things that I can either pass by or people that I run into, um, or a quick experience that I have that just kind of reminds me of where I came from, and yeah, just some things that I think I learned and were taught that I didn't realize I was being taught at the time now. Like, I mean, I'll give you an example. Like when I go home, most people that didn't know me know this, but I live, or I don't live with, but I mean, when I go home, I stay with my mom's mom. We call her Grammy. And whenever I was a junior in high school, I moved in with she and my grandfather, because my grandfather had Alzheimer's, and he stayed at home. We had help all the time. And ever since then, I kind of, when I go home, I pretty much go stay with my grandmother. And she lives the same house that they lived in when I was growing up, but it's on the corner of the Kashada Country Club, which is not really that much of a country club, but it's like a 9-hole golf course, a little clubhouse, a small swimming pool, and then 2 tennis courts. So those tennis courts are the 2 tennis courts that I played on for the first time I ever played tennis. And tennis has been such like a big part of my life that when I go home now, I typically almost every day that I'm home, I'm either walking or running or a combination of both, like the golf course. And I just have so many memories of being on that golf course or being on the tennis courts that I can remember certain moments of thought when I was a younger kid that kind of paved the way that I think and have operated since. And I just really appreciate that. And I mean, you go home like to a small town, Louisiana. Like, I mean, in my profession now, like I work for I guess it's a small or medium sized business. It's a big company. I mean, we're doing several $100 million in revenue, but most of our customers are small businesses.
Yeah.
And the entire makeup of a town like Kashada is really small businesses. So, you go to like a local barbecue shop, or you pull into a gas station, or you walk by like the Allman Brothers Lumber Mill, which is like a lumber yard in Kashada. Like, these are all small businesses. And I don't think that growing up, when I'd pass by those, I wouldn't think about those things. And now I really think about, the fabric of what makes up like the local economy in Kashada. And I don't know that for those, like, so the shine is like, that's a long answer, but the shine has definitely gotten greater for
That's
me
awesome.
in Kashada than it was when I was growing up. Yeah.
So, that moment or that time in your life when you were basically taking care of your ailing grandfather, your grandfather, your family was a family of means. They could have, they could have put him in care with, someone else or somewhere else other than the home. Why you?
Well, I mean, like, to be clear, like, it was not me. I mean, like, we had like round the clock care for him, probably starting when I was 14 or 15, when he had started getting dementia pretty bad.
Yeah.
So he was diagnosed. I think I was 12 or 13 when he was officially diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And then, from there, it was like 12 to 15. So from 92 to 95, 96, the dementia was just kind of rough. I mean, memory. So we had Charlie, an older guy that was a little younger than my grandfather. He spent most of the days with him, drove him around town and to visit people and things. We had a husband and wife couple, Steve and Tina, that were kind of personal caretakers. And then we still have Wanda, who did like a lot of
Wow.
the night shifts, and Wanda still works for our family. So to be clear, like, I didn't not move in to be like the caregiver for my grandfather. I
Got
moved
it.
in to help out whenever I was needed to help out. Like, sometimes, certain people couldn't make certain shifts, and it was good that I was there because my grandmother was just not physically capable of kind of helping take care of him as he got bad. Like, he got to a point where he was bedridden, and you had to feed him, you had to change his diaper. But no, I didn't move in. I just had a very close relationship with that side of my family. I mean, like, it's kind of a catch-22, if I'm being honest with you, because in hindsight, like, I wish that I would have made like more of an effort, like, as an adult. Like, I'm 45 now. Like, I wish I should have leaned into my dad's side of the family more, and I didn't until later in life. But I also think that, like, there's just something about, maybe this is a North Louisiana thing too. There's something about like there's your mama's boys. There's something about being your
Mhm.
mama's boy. Even like my sister. Like, my sister has 4 kids. Their relationship with my mom as their grandmother is very much like my relationship is with my granny, with my mom's mom.
I see.
So
I
I
see.
just had I just was just naturally a very close relationship with them. And I don't remember what happened, but I do remember there was one night, my junior high school, where I think that somebody who was supposed to show up at Grammys didn't show up, and Grammy called mom and was like really upset about it. And I overheard the conversation on the landline of the phone, because back then, it was landlines. And Grammy was really upset. And I just remember going into my room and like packing a bag and just like going, I'm going to go stay at Grammy and with Grammy and Papa tonight. I just honestly kind of never moved back in with my parents. I kind of like, I moved in kind of with Grammy and Papa at that point. Yeah.
That's
I know it's
really
a long answer, but you're making me think about stuff that I haven't thought about in a long time. So,
sorry.
yeah, that was a long answer. No, just good. I hope I'm not ranting too much. Is all.
No.
So.
I think you're doing something that just is, from my experience with you, classic Jamie, which is you're downplaying your role, and I do think that, like, yeah, you're absolutely right. There were other people there. You weren't the main caregiver, but it's obviously, and just from my standpoint, what I see is somebody who has just cared about his family, especially his grandparents, for decades, and for a long, like, that care has trickled over into, the rest of the family as it's grown and as it's, changed over the years. And, I think that's very different from a lot of families. I think that there is love in all families, but I think this amount of emotional investment and your investment to your family is unique. And it's something that should be I want to say implemented, emulated. Something I admire about you for sure. Just how you were able to, not that nobody requested that you do but you took the initiative that, hey, there's a need out here. I'm not necessarily the guy, but I'm going to go and do what I can. And
Yeah.
I think you'll probably agree. Maybe you won't because you're a humble guy, but I'm just going to say, I think that moment possibly paved the way for a lot of other places in your life where you may have not been the guy with, the right track record or acumen or education or whatever, but you found your way into a great opportunity, or you found your way into being useful. Not saying that was a great opportunity, but like you found your way into being of service. And lo and behold, here you are. You're serving businesses all around the nation now. So good for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate you. So I'm going to try to segue this into, you know what? This is the time on the show where, let's see if I can do this. I don't know if you can hear that. It sounds like gunfire, but it's not.
It does sound like gunfire.
It's time for the Ratchet City Rapid Fire. Okay. I'm going to ask some trivial questions, maybe some facts, and you're going to give me answers, okay?
Okay.
Based on your knowledge of North Louisiana, okay? So here we go. Double of one of these will come in a styrofoam cup and cost you about $50, I think.
Okay. Dealt with what? Wait, what? It comes in a styrofoam cup.
You get a double of one of these, and it'll in a styrofoam cup, and it'll cost you about $50, I think.
Wait, $50 today or when we were younger?
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
what does it cost today? Give me the answer. I mean, it's rapid fire.
I was saying Superior Girl Margarita. I mean, that would be, yeah.
All right. We'll come back to that. Red River is how many miles long?
Oh, wow. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a wrong answer. It's 1,360 miles long.
Wow.
So there you go.
That. It runs through Coshada, though. So there you go.
It does run through Coshada. Finish the lyric. When you can drive a truck.
Yeah. When you can drive a truck. It sounds like every other country song from the 90s. I don't know.
When you can drive a truck, you've got a job, my friend. That is the Diesel Driving Academy jingle. You're not doing good.
500 Diesel Driving Academy.
That's pretty good.
Oh, wait, 1-800-555-8900. Is that what it was?
There you go. I think it's. I think so. We'll check it.
1-800-559 8900.
100 Diesel Driving Academy. We'll put that in the notes. If we're wrong, then somebody call us out.
Okay. I guess this is like the rough part of being the first guest on this show is like you have to remember all of the. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What's the oldest business in downtown Shreveport?
Downtown Shreveport? Is it?
Yeah.
Is it the sandwich shop that starts with an F?
It's got to be that psychic shop. That place has been around forever. I don't know that right answer, but it's got to be the psychic
right down
shop.
The corner of is it Texas and Spring Street.
It's the bottom of the Texas Street Bridge.
Yeah.
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 Okay. You're gonna try to read my mind. I'm thinking of a former Shreveport weatherman. Who am I thinking of?
God, man, I don't know. I should. I
Wrong.
had their no, Ed Basil was sports.
Ed Baswell was sports. You got the first name right. Ed Duranzik.
Ed Duranzik. Gosh, man, good one. Wow, well
Golly.
done.
All right.
Well done.
Last question on the Ratchet City Rapid Fire. What band with roots in the 318 took the 90s by storm with hits like Desperately Wanting and Good?
I mean, come on. I mean, this is definitely a setup question. This is Better Than Ezra.
Wrong.
You know,
It's Collective Soul.
No, it's not. Don't play. It's
I'm
Better
sorry,
Than Ezra.
Sister Hazel. It's one of those.
Yeah.
It's not Better Than Ezra.
Yeah.
All right, so
Don't play with my emotions like that with Better Than Ezra. Don't do that. That's wrong.
That was good.
You know what a fan I am.
That was a good Ratchet City Rapid Fire. I really liked it. You did okay. Well, I would say at this juncture in the podcast, you're 3-1 good, not 3-1 great.
I really can't believe I missed Ed Duranzik. And honestly, like, I think you gave me a BS lyric on the Diesel Driving Academy. You could have given me like one, like you gave me like the one lyric of the song that no one probably would know.
I'm going to try it with every guest that we have.
Well, they're going to have the benefit of watching this before.
Nobody's going to watch this.
Touche.
All right. Okay. So let's move on. We've talked about a lot. One of the things that we haven't talked about is something that I kind of bug you about, I think, and that is your affection for the sport of tennis. And especially like, well, let's just take it away from there. Tennis. Let's talk tennis.
Well, I mean,
do you play
tennis? Not very much anymore. No. But I used to play a ton. Yeah. I mean, honestly, man, I would probably credit tennis for 75% of my like life views and work ethic and even skills, like life skills. You know, I started playing tennis like when I was pretty young, and not really young for tennis people, because most tennis people that start playing when they're like 5 or 6. I started when I was around 10 or 11. I guess it was 10. But I mean, I quickly gravitated towards that as kind of like my favorite sport. I think one that I just enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I like the individuality of it too. Like I like the fact that like when I played team sports growing up, like basketball and baseball, because my parents wouldn't let me play football, even though now they're like advocates of the grandkids playing football. But team sports, like when you lose, it was pretty easy to blame everybody else. And I hate losing, and like even today, I hate losing. I think one of the things I liked about tennis was when you lost, you could only blame yourself. And you had to kind of figure out like, okay, why did I lose and what went wrong and what could have gone differently? And
who was the first guy that you lost to?
The first guy I lost a tennis match to was Todd Killen.
Still burns.
No, actually, that one doesn't burn. I ended up beating Todd a lot afterwards. Hopefully he watches this. Yeah. But the one that burns still is John Gray Pugh.
Yeah. And that dude was a legend.
Anybody that grew up in Shreveport knows John
still
Gray.
is.
And John Gray is one of my close friends. But I guess like, so while I do hate losing, I also hated competing against my close friends. Hated it. Like,
okay, explain that more. Why did you hate that?
And I couldn't tell you. Like, I couldn't tell you. I think it's because the friendship meant more to me than like the competition.
Yeah.
And at the time when I was younger, I didn't respect or really feel like you could have one without sacrificing the other. So I felt like by beating my friends, and it would be like disrespectful to the relationship, which by the way is complete stupidity and dumb and immature. And I certainly would never think that way today, but I think that was some of it. I just hated playing friends.
So when when you played friends and you lost, did you feel like it was a disrespect?
No, I actually felt more relieved a lot of times. Like that was actually those are the few times that I actually didn't mind losing. But I will say, whenever there were a few tournaments, that I would play, and like I would be on, say, John Gray's side of the draw. And once or twice he lost to someone. We were supposed to play head to head, and he lost the match before. So I ended up playing who he lost to. And when I beat that person, the gratification of winning was better than it would be like on just beating a normal player. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you
Yeah.
took my friend out. I have a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
gratification of like taking you out. But yeah. So
Well,
John Gray was a burner though. Like, because I hated. It did get to where I hated losing to him, but he was really good, man. Like
a
we
lot of
would
people
play
lost to him.
we would play in practice. He was the worst practicer of anything. Like he was so bad in practice, like just horrendous. And he would kind of slack off in practice. Wasn't really a big intense practicing guy. Where I was like very much into practice. But man, he would get to tournaments and it would just be like, who is this guy? Like, how is he this good? But yeah,
So just for
anyway.
I feel like we need to catch up the audience. John Gray Pugh is a 4-time state champion in high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
4 times.
I mean, but that doesn't really mean, honestly, man, like that doesn't really mean anything in tennis because high school state championships is not really where the competition is. John Gray was top 2 or 3 in the entire Southeast United States. And he was
My goodness.
I think he was like top 30 or maybe top 40 in the country in singles. He was really good.
I did not know that.
Really, really good. Yeah. And in our junior group, which kind of grew up playing together at Shreveport Country Club with Pat Harrison and ended up migrating to Piermont Oaks when Pat moved to Piermont. John Gray was definitely the best of our junior group for sure. But yeah, I mean, again, going back to tennis, taught me a lot. Our coach, Pat, is arguably, Pat Harrison, arguably the most influential non-family member of my life, even today. Like everything I learned about hard work and coaching and loving students. Like, I mean, Pat was very, very much like a hardcore discipline guy. I mean, especially with me and people that he felt really close to personally, he was like really hard on. But man, talk about somebody that just the people that he loved, like he just wanted the absolute best for. It's really hard to find people when you find that in life, like you find somebody that's not your mother or dad or doesn't have like a vested interest in you becoming great other than I just want to see you become great. When you find somebody that just pours into you like Pat poured into me and like so many other people, hell, he's still doing it today with like people he coaches today.
Yeah.
It's super special, man. And like there's so many lessons that tennis taught me. One, the value of like winning and losing, because at the end of the day, like there's a lot of life that's about winning and losing, and how you handle both of those things is really, really important. The value of hard work, the value of learning about consequences when you don't put in the work. Like, okay, you don't have to work hard. That's a choice, but the consequence isn't a choice. Like you don't work hard, you might as well just realize that you're going to reap the consequences of not working hard. And then also just, man, like the thing that's probably been the biggest benefit for me is, just a lot of travel with tennis. Like you grew up playing tournaments a lot of places and you meet a lot of people and just the value of like learning how to be in a new place and meet people and have a conversation. I mean, those are the things. Hell, I can't go anywhere in the country. I'm 45 years old. I can't go anywhere today and not know someone that I grew up playing tennis with that I could call and say, hey, I'm in your neck of the woods. You want to grab a drink or grab dinner or, just take an opportunity to say, hey, I'm around and, just thought about you and want to catch up for a few minutes. I mean, I do that every single year, multiple times a year. And that happens in my life. So yeah, tennis was and is still important to me. And, now I've got, obviously Pat's son, Christian, is my godson. He and Ryan, his older brother, are like my little brothers. And now they're playing professionally. And now I kind of get to reap the benefits of like experiencing that with them. And, I just went to Italy a few months ago, like to watch Christian play in the top 8 championship of the world. I mean,
insane. Another 3.
You got to have both. You got to have all those guys on. I mean, they're all
the whole The whole
way
Harrison
more to,
family.
way more deserving of a podcast of a guest on a podcast like this than I am. So, but yeah, I mean, the tennis is really critical for me, and I mean, in this day, I mean, like John Gray, Jonathan Walker, Todd
Yeah.
Killen, Ginger Loudermilk, Jenan Houston, Jennifer Miller, who was Mark Miller's hashtag 8+, but
Jennifer played it,
Jennifer
I think,
Martin.
at Akron, University of Akron.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I think you're
Yeah.
right. I think you're right. We all grew up playing tennis together, and like, man, like they're all those people
Unbelievable.
today. Like when I hear about them or see them, like it's like your close friends slash brothers, sisters that you never had. That's how I feel about all those people. It's
Good.
another.
That's no, you love tennis, you love Shreveport, you love Coshada, you love the 318
I love Louisiana Tech too.
and Louisiana Tech. And it's
I
all
love
like
Louisiana Tech.
all inside the 318, all shaped you, and just molded you into who you are today. Okay, anything else as far as like any other memory or anything about Louisiana that comes to mind when you think of 318?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's the Coshada Dairy Queen comes to mind.
What's
'Cause
that? Yeah, what's that other place in Coshada? The burger place?
Bailey's,
Yes.
yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Those come to mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, we didn't talk about it, but Louisiana Tech was like a pretty special place for me because I transferred there my junior year of college after playing tennis at Memphis for 2 years, and I had kind of a little bit of actually a lot of bit of kind of a breakdown while I was there, and I had a professor who lives in Bossier now, Selwyn Ellis, who kind of recognized I was not in really a good mental state at the time, and kind of grabbed me and was like, "Hey, you're going to be okay, but snap out of this." Yeah, it was
That's
really
good.
pretty critical. So I've talked about that in other places though, but no, man. I mean, like, and honestly, just the people I met. I mean, you and I are super close friends. You're like my fourth best friend right now. I think maybe fifth.
Appreciate that.
I'm
I've
kidding.
fallen in the rankings, but that's cool.
No. I mean, look, I mean, I think that's the biggest part about what I value most about North Louisiana, like the relationships I have.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
the Harrisons,
Absolutely.
you, Jordan Wilson, John Gray, like I mentioned, all the tennis people I grew up around, Tara Lockwood, who lives in Dallas now, we work together. Yeah, but I mean, I've got so many freaking relationships, Jordan Wilson, so many relationships that developed when I was in from that part of my life.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe one day, maybe one day I'll land back there. It's probably not super likely, but maybe not Coshada, but maybe
Yeah.
someplace else. We'll see.
Can't rule it out.
Can't rule it out.
Well, you brought up a good point, and I think that's just the overall connection when you go over to, Seattle or just wherever, and you run into somebody from our area. I mean, for the majority of the time, you can just pick up right where you left off. It's like we're all of the same ilk. We're all cut from the same cloth. And I think there's a I don't know. I feel like there's a different kind of camaraderie that people feel where, if you're from Dallas and you see somebody, and this has happened to me before, if you're from Dallas, you see somebody, if you're in Cleveland and you meet somebody from Dallas, it's like, oh yeah, cool, bye. But if you're from Shreveport, and you see somebody with a Shreveport captain's hat on,
You need to have some of those made. We should have some of those made.
I don't know who owns the copyrights on those.
Is there? Yeah, I wonder if there's a trademark owner on those. If there is, that could actually maybe revitalize Shreveport as a whole. If all of a sudden captain's gear started showing up again, and like you remember what having a fairly vibrant local economy with a AA sports team was like, that would be pretty cool.
Who'd have thunk that the answer to Shreveport's economic woes was reviving apparel from a AA minor league team in the 90s?
And man, at this point, anything's worth a shot at the title.
Good. Yeah.
Seriously.
I mean, we want to see that area do well for sure.
100%.
We want to see it do
100%.
well.
100%. Yes, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Well, Jamie, thank you so much. It's coming up on like an hour, and I did not
Yeah, it's
expect
been
us
fun.
to. Absolutely, man. I really appreciate your time and appreciate you as a friend and just sharing. You said, I think, rant, not rant. I mean, you shared some things that I've never heard you say, and I've been your friend for 20 years, and so I appreciate you being just open and transparent, vulnerable, and I hope that people get a lot out of not only your episode, but other episodes that we do where we bring in people from North Louisiana who are out in the world doing amazing things. And you're one of those, and you are definitely 3-1 great.
I appreciate it. You will have many others who have done way more and have way better stories than I've got. But
You're probably just saying that because it's true.
I'm glad. Exactly. I'm glad that you kicked this thing off there, man. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So, and the feeling is very much mutual, man. You're a good man, and it's been and will continue to be a pleasure to be your friend. So I appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
When you're from the 318, you're really awesome, my